Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast. My name is Nathan Stroud, and today we're going to be going over the Orioles' 6-5 walk-off win over the Tampa Bay Rays in the final home game of the year. Dylan Beavers walked it off with a walk-off solo home run in the bottom of the ninth inning to walk off the Rays on the final home game of the year. The Orioles were down in this game. They were down 5-2. They ended up coming back and tying it, and then Dylan Beavers walked it off. Again, final home game of the year. The Orioles also win the final home series of the year, and there is now only one more series left this season, which is going to be starting tomorrow and going throughout this weekend against the New York Yankees. So that is the last series of the year is tomorrow. There's only 3 more games remaining this season, only one more series left. We are really in the final, literally the final few days of the season here for the Orioles. Again, it's been a long season. We've gone over every single game. But the way that things ended today for the Orioles, the way that they played their last home game, and the way that they went out with explosives. They went out with fireworks, and it was really, really cool to see. Dylan Beavers gets his first walk-off of his career, gets his first walk-off of his career, and also had his 4th home run of the season, a walk-off homer. It was electric. The team was electric. And then, obviously, they're traveling out to New York to play the Yankees in the final series of the year. The Yankees are going to have a lot to play for. They are currently, as of right now, tied with the Blue Jays for the top of the division. So they're going to be playing for a lot. They're going to be bringing their A game against us this weekend. So it's going to be our job, I guess, to kind of be like a... put a wrench in everything and just try and be a little bit of a kind of like a fly to them, a little bit of a bug flying around their heads while they're trying to win the division. Because obviously we don't want the Yankees to win the division. If I had to choose, I would probably choose the Blue Jays to win the division over the Yankees. So the Orioles are going to be trying their best to kind of be a distraction, I guess, in the plans of the Yankees winning the division. So that's going to be really fun this weekend. Again, final series of the year this weekend. Final home game of the year was today, where the Orioles walked it off. And then also in this episode, we are going to be going over some more Ravens updates. They had their second day of practice. They had a full practice today. Yesterday was just a walkthrough. Today they actually had like a full practice, which we're going to go over. We do have some injury updates for some guys, but most of it is pretty much the same. We also have some quotes and interviews from guys like Zach Orr, Todd Monken, and just overall, like Kyle Hamilton was saying some stuff about how like the sky isn't falling with this team and that we just need to chill out. But obviously we'll see what ends up happening on Sunday against the Chiefs. But we'll go over the Ravens in just a second. But let's first go over this Orioles game. Going over this Orioles game, obviously an electric win for the Orioles. One more big moment for the Orioles this year. One more final moment. One more magical moment at Camden Yards for the Orioles. Again, a walk-off win from Dylan Beavers got the win. And it was a come-from-behind win. Again, we were losing 5-2 going into the 8th inning. We scored 3 runs in the 8th to tie it, and then obviously Dylan Beavers walked it off in the bottom of the 9th. But going over this offense, 9 total hits today for this offense, 6 total runs scored. They got, again, 9 hits, 4 walks. They hit 3 homers in this game, went 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So the offense went out there and did its thing, especially late in the game they did their thing. But going over the offense, Dylan Beavers, the man of the hour, the man who hit the walk-off, the man of the moment. Dylan Beavers was leading off this game. Jackson Holiday was out again. I do expect him to hopefully play in the final series against the Yankees, but he was out the past couple of games due to an injury. But Dylan Beavers went 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored, and obviously the big moment being that walk-off home run for Dylan Beavers. So his only hit being the most important hit of the day, the walk-off home run. Then Jordan Westberg went 0 for 4. Gunnar went 2 for 4. Ryan Mountcastle went 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored and a home run with also 2 RBIs. Jeremiah Jackson went 2 for 4 with a run scored. Colton Cowser goes 0 for 3. Kobe Mayo goes 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer. That home run came in the bottom of the 8th inning that helped tie the game. Actually, that home run did actually tie the game for the Orioles. Again, the Colton Cowser 2-run homer to tie the game in the bottom of the 8th. Colton Cowser, by the way, in the month of September, I think he's batting like a 323 with like a 985 OPS. He's been incredible this month. So shout out to Kobe Mayo. Austin Jackson went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Not a great day from him. But Adley Rutschman did come off the bench as a pinch hitter today, and he went 1 for 1 with a triple. So that was really cool to see from Adley. Cool to see the wheels being turned on for him. Jorge Mateo went 0 for 3. And that was overall the Orioles hitting for today. Again, Dylan Beavers hitting the home run, Ryan Mountcastle hitting the home run, and then Kobe Mayo also hitting a home run today. So all those were the 3 home runs by the Orioles. Jeremiah Jackson with a multi-hit day, Gunnar Henderson with a multi-hit day. Those guys went out and did their thing. Again, Dylan Beavers being the man of the moment, the guy who hit the walk-off home run. Such a cool feeling. And also when you go and look at like their celebration where they put the Ravens helmet on you and they give you the football, like that is such a cool thing. And I talked about it the other day, but like when it comes to the Ravens and the Orioles, like whenever they do that celebration where they put the Ravens helmet on, they give you the football and like the fact that the Orioles are doing that, it's such a cool thing because again, like these guys are neighbors, you know what I mean? Like the Orioles like Camden Yards is right next to M&T Bank Stadium. So they're right next to each other. And again, the city of Baltimore, this is what the city of Baltimore revolves around. It revolves around these 2 teams. Again, there's no basketball team. There's no, hockey team. Like for most people that live in, Baltimore, some of them are fans like the Wizards and some of them are fans of the Nationals, or fan of they're not the Nationals, the Capitals. So if you're a fan of like basketball or hockey there, you really root for those teams. But when it comes to football and baseball, obviously it's an Orioles and Ravens city, and it kind of just proves how knitly, like tied these guys are together. These guys are so tied together. There's such a strong connection between the Ravens and the Orioles, from their fans to the city to the teams themselves. You can really tell that these 2 teams really do look out for each other in a way. And again, these are the things that the city has. And even during the national anthem at Ravens games, and obviously at Orioles games too, but especially at Ravens games, when they get to the O at the end of the national anthem, everybody in Baltimore, all Ravens fans, all Orioles fans will scream O as a part of the national anthem because, again, it's just a tradition. It's a tradition because of the Orioles, but it bled over to the Ravens, and it's just such a cool thing to see the city really helping each other out and really both teams supporting each other. And the other night at the Ravens game, they had all of the Orioles players come out. There was 20 to 30, maybe even more Orioles players and staff, and coaching staff, just walked out of the tunnel and was at the Ravens game the other day. And the replies were so funny. People were saying that that's why they lost and stuff like that because they're bringing the losing mentality over. But in a way, it was really cool to see those guys show up and support their other team in the city. But again, the Orioles hitting was great today. But going over to the pitching was not really great from Cade Povich. Not a great start from him. Did not get the loss, obviously, because the Orioles ended up winning, but he got through 5.2 innings, gave up 10 hits, 2 walks, and 5 runs across 5.2 innings. Had 4 strikeouts as well, a 99 pitch count across 5 innings, a 5.21 ERA. And again, this is Cade Povich's last start of the year. And much like a lot of his other starts this season, it was really not great. Again, 5 innings and 5.2, or 5 runs and 5.2 innings, 10 hits, 2 walks. Not great at all from Cade Povich. But the bullpen came in and really did hold it down, and they made the game within reach for the Orioles as the game went on after Cade Povich left. Geraldo, Stroud, Rico Garcia, and Keegan Aiken all did their thing in this game. None of them gave up a run. Rico Garcia got into a little bit of trouble, but was able to get out of it. And then Keegan Aiken gets the win. It's his 5th win of the year. He's 5-4 on the year in recorded wins and losses. He did his thing today. And again, Dylan Beavers being the man of the moment, getting a walk-off home run against the Rays in the final home game of the year, final home series of the year. And we've hit that time where we are in the final hours of this Orioles season. We have 3 more days left. Tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday are the final 3 Orioles games left this year. And it is going to be against the New York Yankees, as we've talked about. Going over and looking at the series tomorrow, or looking at the game tomorrow, for example. Going to look at the game tomorrow, obviously the Yankees are playing for a lot. They're actually currently winning right now against the White Sox as we're recording this. Them and Toronto are currently tied for top of the AL East. And again, a 15-game win difference between the Orioles and the Yankees. But the Yankees are going to have a lot to play for, and the Orioles can be a team that kind of, helps out the Blue Jays and, can be a team that beats the Yankees, and we could be the reason why the Yankees don't end up winning the division, which would be really, really cool at the end of the year. And again, what they say in sports and what they say in baseball especially, the most dangerous thing at the end of the year is a team that doesn't have anything to play for. And that's what the Orioles are doing right now. But going over and looking at the pitching matchup tomorrow, it is going to be Trevor Rogers' last start of the year. His official last start of the season. Again, only 3 days left. Trevor Rogers is going to get the start tomorrow against Will Warren. Will Warren's been an okay pitcher this year, a 4.35 ERA, but we understand what Trevor Rogers has been this year. We understand how good he's been. We understand where he ranks in terms of pitchers in baseball. And the MLB has shown respect to Trevor Rogers. I think he dropped out of a top 10 list the other day, which doesn't really make any sense because he was there already, and his last start was incredible. But Trevor Rogers, in his last start tomorrow in Yankee Stadium. Going to be a tough one. Obviously, Yankee Stadium is a tough place to pitch, but Trevor Rogers making his last start of the season tomorrow. Last start of an already historical season, no matter what happens tomorrow. But Trevor Rogers on the season already. Before tomorrow, a 9-2 record, a 1.35 ERA, .87 WHIP in 106 innings, has 100 strikeouts. He's been incredible all year long. Now, would it be cool if Trevor Rogers goes out there and gets a 7-inning, 0-run masterclass and his ERA goes down even more and also gets the win? That would be fantastic. So obviously that's what we're going to be looking for. Hopefully Trevor Rogers can get his 10th win of the season in his final start. And hopefully that ERA can go down just a little bit more than what it is right now. I know it's hard to go down because it's already at a 135, but hopefully Trevor Rogers can put on one more gem for us tomorrow like he's done all year. So again, every time it's a Trevor Rogers start, it's obviously very exciting. But going over and looking at the rest of the season here, again, only 3 more games. So obviously we got Trevor Rogers tomorrow. Then on Saturday we got Tomoyuki Sagano making his last start. And then on the final game of the year, we're going to have Kyle Bradish closing us off. Final game of the year, Kyle Bradish versus Luis Gil. Bradish, the last starter for the season for the Orioles. Going to be cool to see how all 3 of these guys end off the year. Sagano, I don't expect to be back, but Rogers and Bradish are going to be potentially the 1 and 2 guys for the Orioles next year, unless we go out and make a trade or sign a big name in free agency. But Rogers and Bradish are going to be 2 key parts of the Orioles rotation next year, and hopefully these guys in their last starts can go out there and do their thing and pull off another gem for us. But switching things over to the Ravens, we do have the injury report from today. Again, today is Thursday, the 25th of September, and they did have practice today. Yesterday, it was a limited practice, limited fashion. It was just kind of a walkthrough because it was raining, but today they went out there, had a full practice, did their thing. The same names, obviously, on the injury report. No new names here, but it is pretty much the exact same. Travis Jones did put in a limited practice, so hopefully Travis Jones will be available and ready to go for Sunday. Because, again, literally all of our interior D tackles and our D-line is on this list right now. But Travis Jones was limited today, so that is an upgrade from yesterday where he didn't play. So hopefully he'll be good to go on Sunday. Isaiah Likely put in another limited practice. And this is what's a little confusing to me. Yesterday, John Harbaugh pretty much in a way confirmed that Isaiah Likely is going to play on Sunday. But what's a little confusing to me is that he has not logged a full practice at all yet. Obviously, he practiced all of last week. He also practiced the practice before the Browns game. So, we thought he was going to play against the Lions, but they were kind of holding him out, just being precautious. He's practiced 2 times this week, but they were both in limited fashion. I do expect in tomorrow's practice, which is the last practice of the week before the game Sunday, I do expect tomorrow for Isaiah expect Isaiah Likely to get a full practice in tomorrow, so then he can be officially active for Sunday. John Harbaugh pretty much said he kind of alluded to the fact that he's going to be available on Sunday, but seeing all these limited practices is making me a little concerned. I'm sure they're just being careful with him because, again, he broke his foot, so it is a big thing. They're just trying to be precautious with it and, not ramp him up too much and have him get hurt in practice again. So that's probably what it is. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But hopefully tomorrow he gets in a full practice so then he can be officially ready to go for Sunday's game. And it's obviously going to be really cool to see Isaiah out there. I'm sure he's going to be on a little bit of a snap count. We're going to slowly ramp him up throughout the year, obviously. But it's still going to be cool to see number 80 out there on the field. Going back to Madubuike, obviously he didn't practice today. He already got ruled out for Sunday by John Harbaugh in the press conference yesterday. But again, with Madubuike, we've talked about it. There's a lot more on the line right now than just him playing this Sunday. There's a lot more on the line than him playing next week or the week after that. This is something that is potentially, obviously, season-ending. It's not been confirmed. They're still doing reports. They're still, figuring it out. But again, this is something that could potentially be season-ending or potentially even career-ending for Nemandi Madubuike. So, obviously prayers to him always. Hopefully he's going to be doing good. Hopefully everything's good to go, and hopefully he can still play football. It would really suck to see him retire, not just from a fan's perspective, but just from a fan of football. Seeing the thing that you love most get taken away from you is always the worst thing in the world, and you're always hoping the best for Madubuike here. Pat Ricard still did not practice, another DMP. We don't really know any updates on it. He hasn't practiced since the 19th of August. Hasn't played in any of these games, but we didn't put him on the IR because I guess we thought that he was going to play again this year or play within the first 4 weeks. Because if he wasn't available in the first 4 weeks of the season, then you might as well put him on the IR and picked up somebody else because that's kind of wasting a roster spot in a way. But we kept Ricard on the roster. He has not practiced once since August 19th. He hasn't practiced a single time in any game week practice so far. And it's looking like, once again, he's not going to play this week against Kansas City. We don't really know any updates about it. We don't know if maybe he, suffered a setback or something. But it's not looking like Ricard is going to play here in week 4. Ronnie Stanley, and this is the one that I want to talk about a lot. Ronnie Stanley was put on the injury list yesterday with an ankle injury. It was said that it wasn't supposed to be anything too super serious, but we don't really know too much about it. But he also does not practice today. So Wednesday didn't practice, Thursday didn't practice. I'm hoping that tomorrow he can get in at least a limited or a full practice in so we can potentially play on Sunday, even if it's limited snaps for Ronnie. He's an excellent player. He's one of the best tackles in the league. He obviously signed that big extension with us this offseason, and it would really suck to see this injury affect him in this game. He dealt with that torn ACL a while ago, but he has been recovering well, and this doesn't have anything to do with the ACL. This is an ankle injury. But hopefully Ronnie can get in a limited practice at least tomorrow. That gives him a chance to play on Sunday, because Ronnie's extremely important for this Ravens offense. He's the best offensive lineman. Him and Tyler Linderbaum are the two best offensive linemen on the team. And with how bad the offensive line played last week, losing one of your best guys would make it look even worse. So hopefully Ronnie is good to go for Sunday. And obviously we understand how important the game on Sunday is going to be. Because again, it's 1-2 Chiefs versus the 1-2 Ravens in Kansas City. One of these teams is going to fall to 1-3. And one of these teams is going to go back even at 2-2. And hopefully the Ravens can do that. They're favorited. Everyone's picking us. But again, I'm just not as confident in this team as I want to be because of the defense, and also just because I just don't know how the offensive line is going to act. And I also just don't know with the Derrick Henry fumbles and how effective the running game is going to be. Like last year, obviously it was automatic. And again, for people that are super worried about the record, we were 1-2 at this point last season. Remember, last year we started off 0-2, and then we won 4 straight, and then we moved on throughout the season and kind of salvaged our season around this time of the year. But right now we're sitting at 1-2 again. We're facing Kansas City. If we can beat Kansas City, not only would that be a huge win for the season, but it'd be a huge win for Lamar. And just kind of being able to beat Kansas City. He's 1-4 against the Chiefs in his career. He's never won in Kansas City. But again, beating the Chiefs always will feel good. We understand what happened last year at the opening game. We understand what happened during the AFC Championship game. So being able to beat the Chiefs is obviously a very satisfying thing. And it would be a big win, obviously, and to put the Chiefs at 1-3 would be very satisfying. But at the same time, nothing is guaranteed because, again, the Chiefs could very easily beat us as well. Mahomes could really just dice up our defense with how bad that has looked. But I'm really looking for the defense to step up on Sunday. I'm really looking for the offensive line to really give Lamar his time and just for the offense to flow with the running game, the passing game, and all that to flow very well and not really have any sack problems for Lamar or the offensive line and all that stuff. Calvin Noy did not practice again today. We understand this is going to be a multi-week injury. This isn't anything too surprising. Hopefully he'll be back over the next couple of weeks. And then Broderick Washington did not practice either. Hopefully he can put in a limited practice tomorrow, because on the same thing with like Travis Jones and obviously Matabike, those are like the D tackles that are not playing. So hopefully Travis Jones and Broderick Washington will be good to go for Sunday. So hopefully that means tomorrow they can both get in some sort of limited practice. But thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow up on Spotify. Also make sure to follow the Twitter and the Instagram. You're going to find that if you click the link in the bio, whatever platform that you're listening to this on. Again, I appreciate you guys so much. This is, again, Thursday. We're heading into the final series of the year for the Orioles starting tomorrow. This weekend will be the final series of the year, which is just crazy to think about. Again, end of the school year-like vibes, and it's just crazy that we're at this point where we're going to be going into the final 3 games of the Orioles season. We've gone over every single game this year, and again, I appreciate all the people that have stuck around for the journey. We're still going to be talking Orioles baseball whenever the season ends. We're still going to be going over any sort of off-season updates, but the Ravens are going to be really in full gear for this show. And then obviously we got the Ravens game this Sunday. We're going to be going over all the practice stuff tomorrow, and also obviously the final game preview on Saturday, kind of talking about what to expect and what things I really want to look forward to, and just looking back on some of the stuff throughout this week. So again, we still got a lot of stuff this weekend. Got a very busy weekend, the last Orioles series, plus the Ravens-Chiefs game on Sunday. Going to be a lot going on. But again, I will see you guys tomorrow. You have a great sales day. Go O's, go Ravens, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out.